Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a great day, and today we are going to be doing a look with the Colourpop Honey palette. Colourpop just released this palette. It's part of their monochromatic series, and it looks just like this. It's a beautiful palette. But yeah, we're gonna be doing a look with this today, and I'll let you guys know my thoughts and opinions on it at the end of the video. Right off the bat with this palette, before we get started, one thing I wish Colourpop would have done was come out with 9 brand new shades, because as all of you know that watch my videos consistently, I am a huge fan of Colourpop, and so I already have this shade right here, which is one of their pressed glitters in the shade Palooza. So I mean, I wish they would have came out with something new just for people like me, but that's okay. Okay. We're gonna go in first with the shade Stinger. I was just watching Raw Beauty Christie's video about this palette last night, and she loved it, and I really liked the look that she did with it. But one thing she was talking about was she felt like Colourpop was going kind of backwards with their packaging, because usually Colourpop has like cardboard unicartons, and this is plastic, so she felt like they were kind of going backwards as far as friendly for the environment goes. Hey guys, sorry about that. My kid woke up from her nap and I had to feed her and everything, and now my dog's whining for no reason. But as I was saying, I watched a video that Raw Beauty Christie did last night, and she was talking about how she felt like Colourpop was kind of moving backwards because these aren't in cardboard packaging. And I have to say that I honestly agree. I'm glad she brought up that point in her video, because I think it's really important that we are mindful of what kind of packaging we are using, and you know, how it's going, what effect it's going to leave after it pretty much leaves our hands. So if you haven't watched that video, I would definitely go watch it from her, just because you know, I don't really have a big enough platform to make a difference, but I think, you know, her mentioning that was just amazing and really a step in kind of the right direction. Next, I'm going to be taking the shade Buzzkill and kind of deepening up that a little bit. It is this shade right here. Just kind of deepening that up a little bit. I don't feel like this is the right brush. Let me go find a different brush. Okay, this should work. But I mean, what's your feelings on the whole packaging thing? Do you think they're going backwards, or, you know, is that something you care about? I mean, there's no judgment here. I just kind of wanted to know. I was curious. There's not much to work with in this palette as far as it goes. If you want to darken it up, like put a color on your outer V. I feel like I'm 10 miles away from you guys. It's better. I'm really sorry. But yeah, I don't feel like there's a lot really to deepen up the looks. One trick though that you can use to make it kind of look like you have a different shade, but really it's only one shade, is to use different brushes with the same shade. So like this, for example, you can see it kind of deepened it up right there. And I used a M433 brush, which looks like this. But if you want to deepen it up, you can also take like a denser bristled brush like this, and it looks like you'll have two different shades, but really it's just the same shade packed on differently. I can't remember who I picked that up from, but I thought it was, you know, kind of a cool little tip whenever you don't have a lot to work with, but you still want to make it look good and dimensional. Okay, so we've got that on. Then I'm going to be taking the shade Sweet Spot and just kind of diffusing that Stinger shade a little bit to make it look a little bit more yellow, because I feel like it kind of looks just like a mustard brown color right now. It's giving it the slightest tinge of yellow, which is exactly what I wanted. I also want to use as many colors as I can. So I'm gonna take the shade Totally Buggin' and also kind of dust it lightly in the crease and see what that kind of does. This is totally an unnecessary step, but I just wanted to kind of see what it looked like, if it even made a difference really. Okay, it made a slight bit difference, but not enough to where you really need to worry about that. Okay, this shade is the shade Sunburst, and this shade is Dandy. Gonna do a little light swatch of Queen Bee right here, and that one is Queen Bee. I think for the look I'm going for today, I'm just gonna go ahead and take Dandy. But yeah, I'm taking Dandy, which is the shade right here, just on a little packer lid brush. Gonna spritz that, and I'm just gonna dust it all over the eyelid. Oh, that's more yellow than what I thought it was gonna be. Okay, sorry I had to cut that little part out. My cat's in heat and she started like meowing really deeply, and I just think that is the most disgusting thing ever, and we're making an appointment to get her fixed because it's honestly the most annoying fucking thing I've ever heard. I'm gonna take that Queen Bee shade and kind of tap it on this outer corner just to deepen it up a little bit, or try to. I've never really seen anybody do this, so I don't know if it's gonna work. But we're gonna try it out. Yeah, no, you can't really tell. You can't really tell that I did anything. But no, our other cat was adopted, and he's a boy. And so he was already fixed whenever we got him. But our girl cat, Sable, we picked her up like as a stray. My sister found her outside of my mom's house and was like, you know, please give this cat a home, blah, blah, blah. And I think honestly what happened was she was dropped off by somebody else. And I never really figured out why. But now that she's going into heat, I can kind of tell why you wouldn't want a female cat. But still, it's awful that somebody just dropped her off to fend for herself. Like, that's the crappiest thing ever. Would not recommend doing your face first with this palette because there is a shit ton of fallout, even though I used a setting spray to make the shadow wet, but still, shit ton of fallout. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and move on to my lower lash line and see what we can do with it. I'm just gonna take that Totally Buggin' shade and just run it all along the lower lash line. Okay, and then to deepen the lower lash line up, I'm gonna take the shade Buzzkill and also just run it along that lower lash line. I really wish there was just a slightly deeper shade than Buzzkill. Just a little smidgen darker. Okay, now I feel like this would look really pretty with just a smoked out brown in the waterline. So I'm gonna take the shade Stomper in the Wet n Wild, God, the Colourpop Cream Gel Liner. I went ahead and put some brown eyeliner in my lower lash line. The shade Stomper wasn't quite dark enough, so I went in with the shade Call Me, also by Colourpop. And then I just went ahead and popped on some mascara. I used 7 out of the 9 shades of this palette, and my final thoughts on this palette is it's not really for me. Like, I'm glad I got it, actually. I'm really happy that I got it, but not as a standalone palette. I would just rather have it as a sister palette, and I don't know if it's... Honestly, I think if I had my normal base on, which is a way more natural looking base, I feel like I would like this look a lot more, but since I just feel like my face looks so cakey and just not the way I want it to, I'm also not really that into the eye look. But the weird thing is I would wear this eye look, so I don't know. I liked all of the shades. I thought Buzzkill could be a shade darker, just so I could deepen up the look a little more. But like I said, you know, I am happy I got it. It'll just be a sister palette to, you know, a palette that has more darker shades in it. But I definitely will get my use out of this palette. And, you know, if you do like yellow looks as a standalone, or if you just like yellow shadows in general, I definitely would recommend picking it up. The colors are beautiful, the formula's there. It's just a personal preference for me on this day. And honestly, I might like it way more on a different day, but I will get my use out of it. Like I said, that's, you know, it's just my opinion. I've seen nothing but good things about this palette, and, you know, I definitely congratulate Colourpop on that. That is awesome. And I really wanted to take a second, not that they'll ever see this, but I really wanted to thank Colourpop for listening to their customer base. Like, whenever we ask for something, they try their hardest to deliver, and I think that makes them so much more successful as a company. But yeah, guys, I hope you like this look. I hope you like this video. I hope it helped you out in some way on deciding whether or not to pick this palette up. And I will see you in my next one. Bye.